Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
And good afternoon or good morning to wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to What If Naruto Could. Yeah. One sec, okay, I'm sorry guys, I actually think I have COVID. Yeah, and I'm just really out of breath suddenly. Because my sister tested positive again, but we're not getting into that. Anyway, this is What If Margin. What if. Last chance, guys. Welcome to part 2 of What If Naruto Could Absorb People like Majin Buu. And in this What If, it's pretty self-explanatory. Kid Buu, before he was destroyed by, remember in Dragon Ball Z he was hunted down by God of Destruction Beerus, but he was sealed away, blah blah blah. In this one, he was transported to a parallel universe and sealed inside Naruto, but it wasn't more like sealed. Naruto just got his powers and all that. But anyway. Last time we left off was this What If did not bang, but I'm actually enjoying it, so I'm gonna make it till I don't enjoy it, and that means you get stuck without it. If you start enjoying it and you get stuck without it, not my fault. I'm thinking of maybe making just one of my old What Ifs that way. It's just that whole idea is meant to be overpowered. But anyway, other than that, last time we left off, Naruto unlocked the pink Sharingan. He figured out he had goo abilities, he absorbed a bunch of Uchihas, he absorbed Mitsuki, and he also got a sort of power from Orochimaru, because remember, I don't actually remember his name, Mitsuki, or Mizuki, whatever his name was, the one with the white hair, not from Boruto, from normal anime. He actually had a curse mark from Orochimaru, we see it later on in the show, and that's the reason he was trying to steal the Sacred Scroll Ceiling, because if he got that, he would unlock more power, he'd unlock a better version of his curse mark. But yeah, he got a sort of something like that power, but it's not like the Tiger Curse mark. He literally can use I'm not gonna spoil it anyway. But now we go to Naruto, who was in the third Hokage's office. Yes, he got adopted by the third Hokage, and he's in the third Hokage's office. Naruto found it maybe it was important to disclose information of his eyes, and when he showed him to the third Hokage was very, 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 very intrigued. And he saw this as a sign. Maybe Namikaze and the Uzumaki clan mixed their DNA, and it's never happened before. I'm saying it's never happened, just deal with it. And this is the outcome. Naruto was the very first person with these type of dojutsus. And maybe it's a new clan, maybe it isn't. But he just takes it as a thing where there's probably mixing of Uchiha and Uzumaki and Uchiha and Namikaze and all that, and it's created this outcome. But he tells Naruto there's nothing to be ashamed of, he should be proud, as for all he knows, these might be the most powerful dojutsu that ever exist. But at the same time, he also tells him to be careful who he shows off to, unless it's in a battle, don't just be telling people, and you never know who might try to steal them, or take them from him. And as he says this, he has a really nasty thought of Danzo, just thinking, what if Danzo finds out about these eyes, he'll just become curious, And after thinking like this, the third Hokage takes a vow to protect Naruto with his life if it means it. But other than that, Naruto also displays his purple goo. And the third Hokage assumes it as another sort of Kekigenkai. And he's like, so I assume it's similar to the rubber style, but it's pink. And its qualities are different. Naruto, you're quite unique. I believe if you manage to utilise your abilities, learn how to actually use them in battle, you'd be an unstoppable force. Hearing this, Naruto is quite pleased and he turns around. This is when the third Hokage decides to test it. He chucks a kunai at Naruto quite fast, and Naruto reacts quite easily, actually catching the kunai. And he smirks himself and says, "You're not at a genin level, my boy. Just say the word and you can be a Chunin." Hearing this, Naruto says, I don't want to be promoted for no reason. It'll create jealousy among my teammates. And yes, the teams are going to get announced this episode. And he goes to him, "Who are my teammates?" And the Hokage says, "Well, at first since I know your abilities, you're going to be put at the very top, and Sasuke Uchiha was going to put on another team. But seeing where you both have a sort of Sharingan, I decided that you should have Sasuke Uchiha as your teammate. and Kakashi of the Sharingan as your sensei, and I guess I can let you choose your other teammate. Naruto at first thought goes to Sakura, and not because he likes her, he just thinks her pink hair goes well with his pink eyes. But he can't help but his mind wanders to Hinata. Yes, I do like that ship, deal with it. And he says, can I have Hinata of the Hyuga clan? And Third Hokage is laughing and says, Naruto, is it possible you have your first crush? Naruto holding his blush and says, no, it's because Sasuke has a Sharingan, well he might have a Sharingan, Kakashi has a Sharingan, I have this eyes, and Hinata has a pair of special eyes as well. Hearing this, the Third Hokage manages to accept it and actually thinks it's a great idea. A team of people all with Kikigenkais or like special dojutsus. It's actually a good idea. Once my mic gets to next, it's my fault. It's not my fault. There you go. But anyway, we go to the day when the teams are getting announced, and it all goes the same except for instead of when it's announced as Team 7, it is Sasuke, Naruto, and Hinata. Hearing this, Hinata blushes as she still has a crush on Naruto, as when she was getting bullied, Naruto did defend her, but like in canon, he battered them bullies when they tried fighting him. Like he ducked and weaved, he was grabbing their faces, smashed it into the knee, beat one of them onto a tree. But because of this, she also had a bit of a fear of what Naruto can do when he wants to. But it sort of went from fear to admiration as she grew older. But anyway, enough of the ship. There's never too much. Oh no, you know what, I'm not going there. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say with that one. Anyway, Naruto's sitting in the room as their teacher is a whole 2 hours late, and he decides to play a little prank. He gets a rubber, and without setting it up like he does in canon, he does it quite effortlessly by chucking the rubber and it perfectly balancing. When Kakashi opens the door, it hits his head. Naruto dies laughing. And Kakashi's first impression of this one was he acts loud says brat, but the first thought was, he reminds me of Obito. But when he took a notice of his eyes, he realised who this was. This was Naruto Uzumaki, the son of his teacher, and now the adopted son of the Third Hokage. And also that he's heard the rumours of his talent. This should be an interesting year. Of course, they go to the roof, and of course, I'm not saying, sorry, I have some weird, my brain feels foggy, if that makes sense. And Kakashi body flockers to the roof. And everyone is just shocked by this, except for Naruto. He knows how to do this, he's been there, done that, he's a big man in the world, he's run these streets. And he learned it from the Sacred Scroll of Sealing. Why can't I get my words out properly today? It's the end of the way. You know what, I'm not going to start rapping, I'm going to drink my Yazoo strawberry milkshake. I ain't a bit of ASMR and Harry Fox video. I know, I got milkshake on my mouse pad. No, I got milkshake on my fudging mouse pad. Anyway, what was I going to say? But yes, Sasuke and Hinata have to walk up to the roof, where Naruto's actually sitting there talking to Kakashi. They have about 3 minutes to talk, and they actually have a real conversation. And Naruto says, "Kakashi of the Sharingan." This catches Kakashi off guard, and he says, "How do you know my title?" And he's like, Hokage Gramps told me. Well, I'm just gonna say Gramps. When I say Gramps, I'm referring to the Third Hokage. And he says, Gramps told me, and he's like, I'm the one who got to select my team. And Kakashi face plants and think that's a bit of favoritism. And Naruto just says with a smile on his face, it isn't favoritism when you deserve it. Hearing this got Kakashi intrigued, and he attempts to sneak up on Naruto, like blatantly sneak up on it, which is normal. He can normally do this for any genin. But before he can even take a step, he's realised Naruto's gone, and he's behind him. And Naruto's right behind Kakashi, and some bloodlust is leaking out. Naruto doesn't really know what this is. It's like there's a deep evil inside of him. It doesn't affect him, but when he wants to bring it out and scare people, he can easily can. And we all know what this is. This is Kid Boo's evil. This is Kid Boo's evil, his hatred, his pure will to destroy. And he lets that seek out, and he's right behind Kakashi, and he goes, Kakashi. Kakashi, feeling this bloodlust, thinks his life is in danger, and he whips that kunai and spins it around, but manages to stop just at Naruto's neck. To his surprise, Naruto's not at all fazed by this. And as a matter of fact, Naruto does one-handed hand signs, and says under his breath, "Wind bullet." he absolutely demolishes this kunai and it pretends like nothing happened. Before Kakashi can address the situation, Sasuke and Hinata finally show up, and they're sat down. Sasuke's speech is the same. Let me get my emo voice on. I want to kill. I want to kill a certain somebody. And that somebody is Itachi Uchiha, my older brother. He slaughtered my clan, my people. And Naruto says, shut up, get over with. Hearing this, Sasuke wants to snap, but he has a respect for Naruto. We went through this last time. And he says, that's all I wanted to say. Hinata, unlike Sakura gets a real speech, she says, I'm not going to put on a Hinata voice. Oh, we're not doing that again. I did it before and the entire comments were mortified. But she goes, I want to be strong enough to be the head of my clan and earn the title. And I want to be strong enough so a certain somebody recognises my strength and sees me as a true friend. And she says this blushing at Naruto. Oh, sorry guys. If you heard that, it was not a burp. It was a natural passing of gas. And everyone sort of catches on to what she meant by this, except for Naruto. He's still an airhead when it comes to love. And then it goes to Naruto. Everyone is curious to hear this, especially Kakashi. And he says, I want to be the next Hokage. But also, I want to prove that I am the strongest. I already know I'm stronger than most people of my age, but I want to prove that I'm stronger than people 100 years older than me. Remember, he's still a kid at this point. And Kakashi actually says to him, that's quite ambitious for someone of your caliber. Hearing this actually ticks Naruto off, and he says, of my caliber? Funny coming from someone who can't even save their own. Hearing this, Kakashi has a vein bulge in his head, as he knows what Naruto's about to bring up, but Naruto bites his tongue. Naruto knows what happened to Kakashi in a beat on Rin. But at the same time, he's been warned not to take the mick out of it by the third Hokage and all them lot. So he doesn't. But Kakashi doesn't get proper pissed off at this. He thinks, oh, fair game. I remember, Kakashi's not moved on, but he's mourned. And this actually makes quite a bit of a weird bond with Kakashi and Naruto. They have a sibling rivalry. But this Naruto still is ticked off. And he says, I know you're going to offer us a test tomorrow, but why don't we get it done now? And Kakashi is still a bit ticked off about the Obito and in that comment, what he bit his tongue to. Says, you know what, I think you're right. Meet me at the training fields, 10 minutes max. They both body flicker. But this time they don't talk to each other at all. Naruto actually sits there and meditates. And he takes deep breaths. He's been feeling this weird energy within him. It's sort of not evil, but it's hot. And the way you can describe it's just this red energy. As you remember, sorry guys. Remember, Naruto didn't get the Nine Tails absorbed like that, he absorbed it. So he still has quite a bit of access to an abundance of chakra, but not all of it. And as he's sitting there meditating, he can sort of sense, using this chakra, people are near him. And he can tell he has about 1 minute left. So he decides to go for it. This sort of red chakra he managed to gather, he circles around his body. And Kakashi's actually quite impressed. He can sense the Nine Tails chakra, but at the same time he can also sense that it's under control. And Naruto's hair stands on end, as his hair seems to get spikier. His whiskers are more apparent. And there's actually a weird aura at the bottom of his feet, blowing the grass around him. And he also now has visible claws in his hands. And he thinks himself, he's like, so this is what I've been feeling. It's a dark power, but it feels like it belongs. Remember, Evil Boo would love to have Kurama's power, especially that angry Kurama, before he found his happy place with Naruto. Oh. Oh, sorry, I keep even humming songs whenever I get the tunes stuck in my head. But yes, this is when Sasuke and Hinata actually show up. And seeing that this new look of Naruto, Hinata remembers the savage way that Naruto beat up her bullies, and she sort of blushes. And Sasuke sees this as a type of jutsu that Kid Kiba can use, and just views it as a bit more competition than anything else. And but I know it ain't on topic, but I made a TikTok and it was very funny. You're not gonna believe how many views it got. It got 23.8k views. That's 23,800 views. Anyway, back to the topic. Good. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Kakashi explains the test and the consequences and the how only 2 will pass and this and that. But Naruto didn't really hear anything. The only thing he's focusing on is how will I win this fight? What would he do? He's trying to predict Kakashi's moves, and he gets a decent round of it in his head. And he takes a deep breath, and Kakashi says, "Begin." Naruto and Sasuke jump into the forest, but Naruto's eyes are just dead set on Kakashi. He's getting him with a death stare. And Kakashi says, "Good, if you were to run away, I would have been disappointed by all the talk you gave. Can you talk the talk but not walk the walk?" And then Naruto in a flash, before he disappears, he goes, "Not only can I walk the walk, I can also beat the beat." Or, I was going to say beat the meat, but I don't know. He's like, "I can also beat the copycat." And he disappears in a flash and appears behind Kakashi. He swings his foot and Kakashi ducks. This is what Naruto expected. And he plants his foot he swung and he ducks underneath and tries to hurl a powerful uppercut. And he actually misses, but his arm extends with pink goo and it wraps around Kakashi's neck. This actually caught him off guard, as he's never been told nothing about this. And the pink goo wraps around his neck and starts choking him. He can't really do anything, he's stuck, he wasn't prepared for this. And Naruto spins around and slams him into the ground. And then releases him. It wouldn't be any fun if he could choke him out like that. Kakashi immediately holding his throat says, "Oh, what was that?" And he says, "Oh, I thought the third Hokage would have told you. I'm quite good at using rubber style." Hearing this, Kakashi is actually quite intrigued. He's never really had to work with anyone who can use rubber style. And the way the Hokage's amped him up, this is going to be quite an interesting team, as rubber style is good for offense and defense. Seeing this, Sasuke's just in complete shock. What was that? His arms turned into some goo. But anyway, Naruto still won the Nine-Tails chakra, rushes at Kakashi, throwing combos after combo, kicks after kicks, headbutt after headbutt. With his fangs out, he's trying to slash by it. And that's when he realises, damn it, I'm going too into this chakra. Get yourself back into it, Naruto. He jumps back and starts doing hand signs. He sends a massive fireball, it made the sky seem orange. And Kakashi, seeing this, drops. Again, he shouldn't be able to use even a small fireball jutsu, let alone that. And when Sasuke saw this fireball, the only thing he could think of was Itachi. But Kakashi using Earth Style dug underneath the ground. But like I said, when Naruto's using the Nine-Tails chakra, he can have a sense of where people are. So he dug his own arms into the ground, extending them with goo, and he finally managed to catch onto Kakashi's leg. That's when he felt his arm go numb. He ripped the arm out of the ground, and he just sees that his arm's been cut off. Kakashi goes back up to the surface with Naruto's severed arm, which is back in its normal form. And he says, well, I guess you can get healed by the nurses anyway. But the arm returns to pink goo and it zooms back onto Naruto's arm. This is where Kakashi's confused and he says, I get it now, that must be a clone. And Naruto says, a clone? No, but I'll show you one. Naruto does hand signs and says, multi-shadow clone jutsu. He sends out 10 shadow clones. And they start scrapping with Kakashi. Kakashi slices one of the shadow clones in half just to see it regenerate. And he's very confused. And Naruto completely waffles and says, this is my special style. Shadow clone jutsu, rubber style shadow clone jutsu. And Kakashi says, impressive, for gaining, you sure do have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. And after he realises that the shadow clones can only last about 5 hits, and then they finally disperse. Still better than regular shadow clones, and an actual big improvement on this jutsu. But there's one thing he didn't expect for, the last shadow clone. As it's out there, Naruto starts doing hand signs. I don't even know it, but he goes, enlargement jutsu. He copied this from his friend Choji. And the shadow clone, being made out of his goo, begins enlarging. Until I say it's about, I don't know. Remember Choji when he used his butterfly form? When he got, Choji's boulder size, but he's more muscular. So, this coat, I feel sick. I might have to cut this one short, guys. But other than that, I'm not kind of sure right now. You know what I mean. And he just got what little beep, as the clone just falls forward, as it's quite hard for Naruto to sustain because he does use a bit of his chakra, and the clone just falls forwards. Kakashi substitutes out of this and appears behind Naruto with his Sharingan now out and attempting to knock him out, as this fight wasn't going how he expected. Naruto easily dodges on weave as he now has his Sharingan activated. He saw the danger coming and he's just laughing. Kakashi seeing this pink Sharingan, he remembers the third Hokage saying something about it to him, but he chose to ignore it. But now he sees it, he understands why the third Hokage was so impressed. He can see just by the colour of his eyes they were powerful. And what he didn't notice is the claws on Naruto's hands. Naruto saw a trail and he followed it, and now the claws are just inches away from ripping out Kakashi's jugular. But other than that, guys, I hope you do enjoy it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with... Ooh, that's scary. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Hit the like or whatever. Set the like. I didn't even set the like. Just hit the like button. It doesn't hurt you, and it's so easy to do. Why don't you do it? Comment down below what else you want to see. And what are you talking to? I just had bubble. But yeah, other than that, I hope you do enjoy it. I'm gonna go lay down because I have not slept yet since yesterday because I was on the phone to my mate all night. It was just very funny. But other than that, I hope you do enjoy it. Peace out, guys. Love.